This is James Lutton for Round 8 Boxing. Delighted to join with Joe Hayden. Joe, hi, mate.
Hi mate, you all good?
All good, thank you.
Good.
Fight weeks fast approaching for yourself. Big fight coming up next weekend at the arena in Doncaster. Lewis Booth is your opponent. Um, First of all, just talk about Lewis Booth. He's obviously 16-1 record, one loss to a very good fighter in Constantine Ursu. What do you know about Lewis Booth?
Um, I know Lewis personally, not great, but I've known of him for quite a few years. When I see him, we get on well. Always have a little chat when we see each other. Sparred him a few years back, just before my pro debut, and been to watch him a couple of times as well. Watched him win the Central Area. I think that were about 5 years ago now. So that shows how long he's been about and how long he's been boxing at a decent level as well, winning the Central Area obviously 5 years ago. Um, but yeah, uh, decent lad, good boxer. Well, looking forward to getting in there and have a fight with him.
Is it strange to be getting in the ring with somebody that you know quite well and you're friendly with, someone you sparred and watched fight and things like that?
Um, with this one, I wouldn't say so, no, because we're not overly close. We know of each other, but we're not overly close. So to me, that don't really make a difference. Obviously, I get in there and spar my good mates plenty of times, and obviously once you're in there, it's a different story. But so with this one, there's nothing personal between it. It's just going in there, and it's just another fight to me.
Just business. Taking back to those spars, I know it was a little while ago before your pro debut, you said there, but was there anything you can sort of take away from those spars that you feel that you can exploit in the fight?
Uh, Not really. No, I'm not taking nothing away from the sparring. To be honest with you, like I said, it was I think it was before my professional debut, so we got over 3 years ago. Um, so obviously, I've improved a lot since then. Lewis, you don't know whether he was in top form then or he'd not been in gym then. It's hard to take things away from sparring. So for the time, how long ago it was, and we both could have improved a ton since then, or so yeah, I'm not taking nothing from the sparring. I'm coming into this expecting the best version of Lewis. So, and then that's what I'm training for.
Is this the biggest step up in your career so far?
Yeah, too right. By far the biggest step up. Obviously, the last few years I've been busy getting the rounds in, fighting journeyman, and this is the first real step up in level. Really, yeah. Like I said, former Central Area champion, well experienced fighter. Like you said, only one defeat, but that one defeat is to Ursa, who was a top class fighter, so there's no shame in that. So yeah, by far it's my biggest test to date.
Does that excite you? Does that motivate you more going into the fight?
Yeah, too right. I'm buzzing for this fight to be honest. Can you still hear me? Sorry, because someone's just rang me.
Yeah, I've still got you, mate.
Am I still on? Yeah. Yeah. Um, what was that? Sorry, throw me off that.
Motivate you, to excite you, knowing that's a step up for yourself.
Yeah, too right. Yeah. It's given me that. Not that I needed that extra fire, that extra spark to get me going and push me more. But to be honest, I've trained as hard as I ever have trained. I always give 110% no matter what, no matter who I'm fighting, no matter what it is. I will always give 110%. The excitement for me is knowing how big of a fight it is. Obviously, with it being in Doncaster as local football ground, two lads from Doncaster, the local buzz around it is building, and people are excited for it, and that makes me excited. And I think having that bit of pressure as well, that gives me that extra excitement as well because I feel like I sort of thrive with the pressure, and it makes me dial in more. And like I said, it gives me that bit of excitement. And with the workouts and everything what we've been doing, yeah, it's just got a real buzz about it this fight, and I'm looking forward to getting in there.
How's that been, that sort of taste of, a crowd buzzing, obviously going into the stadium fight, the public workouts, like you mentioned there? How's that been for you in terms of not necessarily the limelight as such, but obviously it's a bigger stage for you?
Yeah, no, it's been good. I feel like I've sort of just taken it all in my stride. Obviously, I've been around Dave now for a few years, and I've seen Dave doing it all. So that's sort of like from the outside looking in, I've sort of been just watching it all happen and sort of like manifesting it for myself and seeing how Dave deals with it and sort of like trying to mimic that sort of thing. So then when it does eventually happen to me, then I'm ready for it. It's not like I'm not like a deer in the headlights with it, and it's like I don't know what to do. just been trying to follow Dave and copy Dave with it all, and Dave's also been over the last few years just been chucking us into interviews and chucking us into all sorts of things, preparing us for this sort of stuff. So yeah, I feel like I've sort of took it all in my stride, and it's enjoyable, really.
Yeah, absolutely not phased by it one bit. You mentioned obviously pro debut 3 years ago. You've been very, very active, 17-0 now. Fight 18 coming up next week. For you, is that been a real positive to stay active and be busy and obviously racking up these wins?
Yeah, too right. I think it's kept me sharp, and the improvements that I've shown from being so active has been unbelievable. Obviously, I wouldn't have been able to do this without my sponsors. One of my main sponsors, Straight Line, they allow me to be able to go full time and box so often. So if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in today. But I think the rate of improvement that I've shown has been down to boxing so often, and it's also made me a lot more relaxed, getting used to being in the ring, doing it for real under the lights, and getting the rounds in, and making up for the lack of experience that I had. I feel like I've made up for that now, and we're ready for the step ups now.
You had, in terms of amateur career, you had what, 5 amateur fights, was it?
5 year.
Five. So you turned professional. Why was that decision made to turn professional after so few amateur fights?
Yeah, so I had one amateur fight at my old amateur club, and then obviously COVID hit. I went with Dave. I had four amateur fights with Dave and won all four of them, and then it got to the point where we started to struggle to get fights. Really, I think I went about 4 or 5 months without a fight, and it was a bit frustrating. I'd be training for fights, we're falling through all the time, and then I dropped on with this sponsorship. We got offered this sponsor, so Dave said we might as well turn pro and make the most of it and learn on the job, box regularly, make the experience up with sparring and fighting, and just do it like that and just learn on job, and that's exactly what we did, and it's worked out perfectly so far. Me and Dave were literally talking about it the other day. Dave had a 3 year plan for me, and the plan for the 3 years was to have 18 fights, and we literally said after this 18th fight, that is it's literally worked out to plan 18 fights in 3 years. So, like I said, yeah, it's gone perfect.
Absolutely. Talked about working with Dave, it's Dave Allen we're talking about here. That's sort of how people in the boxing circle really sort of knew you at the very start. Obviously, you've built up your reputation with your record now, but talking about working with Dave and what he's like.
It's great working with Dave. It's got that we've got that good click, that good transfer from mates to coach and coach and boxer. We've got it's good like just with the click of the fingers, we go from having a laugh. As soon as that bell goes, we've got serious heads on and we're in training mode then. And it's like you get two different versions of Dave. You've got your mate and then you've got your coach. And it's being able to decipher between them. But it's good training with Dave because he knows so much about boxing. His boxing IQ is unbelievable, and I was saying to him the other day, like he's a great teacher, and there's not many of them around. I don't think nowadays. Like you got plenty of pad men and what have you, but Dave's really good at teaching. He can really like what he's done with me. He broke me down, stripped me down to the bare minimum, and then rebuilt me and taught me everything that I know about boxing. So I think yeah, as a teacher and as a boxing coach, he's unbelievable, and I think he's got a massive future in training after he's done with the boxing himself.
We see, I mean, when you see sort of Dave on the interviews and on the camera, and he seems to be, very much a laugh, a funny guy, likes to enjoy himself. Also, he comes across a private person. He likes his own space, his own company sort of thing, and he keeps his circle very small. What is Dave like as a trainer?
He's brilliant. Yeah, like I said, we have that laugh because we're good mates, so we have that laugh constantly. But like I said, as soon as that bell goes, we've got a serious heads on, and I turn into the boxer, and Dave turns into the trainer, and it's very much serious business. Yeah, we take us training very, very serious. Dave, in the 3 years that I've been training with, sorry, 4 or 5 years I've been training with him now. I've been pro for 3 years. I think I've been training with him for nearly five. Uh, Dave's never missed a session. Every morning and every afternoon, he's been there without fail. Don't matter what day it is, don't matter what's going off, he's there for training. It could be pissing down a rain, and I've got sprints outside, and Dave will stood there at top of the hill with his coat on, with his stopwatch in hand, and he'll be there timing. He's never missed a session. He's never got any excuses for anything. He's always there for us no matter what. So, and I think as a boxer, you need that because it gives you that like we it's that accountability where we want to do our best for him. Like the way that Dave is with us, it makes us want to run through a brick wall for him. So I think it's good to have that sort of relationship with your coach.
Absolutely. It certainly sounds like he's very, very much dedicated as a coach, even though he's got all his own stuff going on with it, his fights, his families, this and that. It's obviously sounds like coaching certainly where his future lies as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like even though he's got these big fights, he always finds time for us as well. And you've got to appreciate that. He's a busy guy, like you say. He's got these big fights coming up. This one with Johnny. He's got all his training. He's in camp for that himself. He's got all his media stuff. He's got his family at home, his two babies, but he still finds time for his fighters. And I think you've got to really appreciate that. And I think when you've got someone that's doing that for you, finding the time for you, like Dave is, you've got to repay it in double. And that's why I will always give it my everything because Dave sacrifices too much for us for me not to put everything in.
We said a minute ago how Dave, he's a very funny guy. He likes jokes, he likes to have a laugh. What's the funniest story between you and Dave?
Um, Trying to think. There was one time we went out around Newcastle. Actually, we used to go Newcastle quite a lot. That's where my sponsors are from, up in Newcastle, and we go sparring up there quite a lot at Forest Hall, Lewis Ritson's dad's gym, and Oliver Morello used to train with us. Obviously, none of us really drink, but that night we went out around Newcastle and we was all just getting Oliver Morel as humanly drunk as possible. So we was all just buying him drinks all night, and yeah, he got his some chuffing, some tacking. But yeah, that was quite a funny night. But you know what, off the top of it, I can't really think to be honest. Sort of put on the spot, thinking of funny moments. To be fair, but no, there has been a fair few. Like you say, Dave's just he's just like a chuffing walking comedian. Really, some of the stuff he comes out with, it's questionable sometimes, but other times it's hilarious.
I mean, I can only imagine what he's like with Nigel Travis down the gym he walked in at the minute.
Yeah, Nigel's great. Yeah, Nigel's great to be around. He's a top person as well.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the fight, Dave and Johnny Fisher. Obviously, the first fight, a lot of people felt that Dave won that fight. From what you saw, how did he deal with that, taking the loss when he potentially felt like he should have won?
Dave was the calmest, most relaxed person after that fight. Everyone else was spewing. Everyone were going mental, saying, "I can't believe it's not been given." Everyone were doing the nut, and Dave would just sat down on the sofa, just relaxed, just saying to people, "It's all right. Don't worry about it." And I couldn't get my head around it. Like I say, everyone was going mad, and he was just he was the calm, he was the person that would just sat relaxed, and it was him that it had gone against. Stopped him from winning his first professional title, getting a big win like that over in Saudi, and he was the calmest out of everyone. But I think that's just what sort of person Dave is. Dave's just a chilled, laid back person, really.
Has he sort of shown any emotion as to how much this rematch means to him?
Yeah, I think he's still got to be in his bonnet about the first fight. He's been in the gym from what I've seen. He's been training so hard, and he looks in a better place now for this one than he did in the first one. Because obviously he had a couple of weeks off over Christmas, and he was straight back into the gym. So he started in a better position for this fight than he did for the first one. He pretty much picked up where he left off, and he's only got sharper, fitter, and stronger. So no, it's been good to watch him in camp for this, and I'm looking forward to the rematch. To be honest.
Obviously, after seeing the first fight and the scorecards from that fight, and now he's fighting in the Copper Box, which is Johnny's sort of home venue as such. That's how they've adopted it as. Do you feel that Dave needs to stop Johnny to get the victory?
Um, Not necessarily needs to stop him. I think it's a tough one, really. But I do believe, to be honest, that Dave will stop him. I do. I don't know. I think coming from the first fight, I think it's going to have a big mental block on Fisher, and I think Dave's going to take a lot of confidence from the first fight coming into it, knowing that he's taken his best punches, and he's stuck in there and stuck with him. And like I said, Dave's only got fitter and stronger from the first camp, so he's going to come into this in a better shape. So I think we're going to see a better version of Dave, and I think that'll show.
So do you think that even though Johnny Fisher got the win, that potentially there'll be question marks for himself heading into this fight after that first performance?
Yeah, definitely. I think it'll be a big mental block with the first fight, and we'll have to see. We'll have to see how much Johnny's improved. Obviously, it was a massive experience for him to go 10 rounds in a tough fight like that. It's a massive experience. So he could take a lot from that and improve a lot from it. Obviously, we know how hard Johnny trains. He's a really hard trainer. So yeah, it's interesting to be honest. It's another good fight, and they know each other now really well. Obviously, they've done the 10 rounds together, so they've got a better idea of what to expect from each other. Um, it's not round one; it's round 11. So it's exciting. It'd be interesting.
Definitely. And just finally back round to yourself, Josie, fight 18 coming up. For you, that was the 3 year plan that David set out for you guys. What's next? What's after that? What's the next 3 year plan?
I get this fight won next week, and then we push on again. Maybe one or two more 8 rounders, then hopefully end the year with a 10 round title fight. Hopefully, that'll be yeah. Hopefully, that's the plan.
Fantastic. Well, Joe, best of luck for next weekend, and thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, mate.